tagged all over the jails, all in the cells.
No, but the drug tag to it.
Right, LA projects. You see there's gang stuff written everywhere. There's bottles and bags and hypes and everything. I don't know, I'm supposed to talk about the martial arts and everything, really. You named everything I gotta talk about, from hip-hop and martial arts to crime and martial arts to basically foundations of martial arts. I guess all of it really does tie into, because you know, like music, they got foundations and bass lines and everything that you gotta follow, just like the martial arts, principles and discipline for real. You know what I mean? But that's the same discipline that comes from everybody out here on the street too, though. They discipline themselves. It might seem wrong, you know what I mean? They're doing wrong, but I guess they feel like they're doing right. You know what I mean? The same principles apply to be successful. I guess people don't really feel like they're successful, you know what I mean? But at home, they really feeding their families and everything else.
You born in the hood? I mean, what type of environment were you born in?
I was born in a lower middle class area, but then I was homeless. I ain't have nothing, anything. So I felt like, to me, I'd rather die trying to get something any way possible than live without nothing. But that was the wrong thing for real, you know. And I was already in the martial arts at this time. And then I eventually got locked up and learned everything I learned in the martial arts is everything you learn. You need to learn to be successful anyway, you know what I mean? In a much more rigid environment, getting killed, people getting raped, you know, people getting stabbed up, people with locks and everything. You start to learn. It's the same thing as over here. They say it's a different society, but it's the same thing, just way more intense, like 10 times this society. You know what I'm saying?
Now you were born up in Columbia, which is a real wealthy area in Maryland. Am I correct?
Actually, homeless in the county, in Columbia, one of the richest. Besides Montgomery County, it's like one of the richest counties, not only in Maryland, on the East Coast. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. This thing goes on everywhere. You know what I mean? Am I allowed to cuss? Or
Yeah, go.
It happens everywhere. These, like you was looking at the condoms and things everywhere. Man, it goes on everywhere. Everywhere. They might try like cover it up, paint things and make the lawns look good. But it's the same thing everywhere. I've been all out here, all out Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia, Columbia, you know, and it's crazy because the wildest people I've ever met live in Columbia. You know what I mean? These people are way more off the chain than anybody I've ever met from DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia.
But people look at hip hop and they look at these sort of topics and struggles. They say it all is a black thing, is a poor thing. It's, you know, it happens in the impoverished areas. I mean, it don't happen in the suburbs.
I mean, they say it goes on in the suburbs. I don't know why they say that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, I say when you go on, like, hip hop is a negative influence, but they also say music calms a beast. You know what I mean? So what is it? You feel me? Does it really make people go out and rob people or shoot people or anything like that? No. You know what I mean? Do people see this all the time and relate to it? Yeah, because it's the same people that come from the same struggle. You know what I mean? Just like if you in school, you're going to make friends in your class because they're going through the same thing. You can relate to them. They studying, they working hard, you doing
so
that.
when you got in the martial arts, what was the reason for your mom bringing you to the martial arts?
Wu-Tang. Honestly, Wu-Tang. I used to be a big fan of Wu-Tang. Then I started watching Shaolin movies and I wanted to be like that. I wanted to learn that.
But you was in the suburbs.
I know. Man, rap music is real heavy out there. You know what I mean? It's a strong influence. It's not even just rap music. It's a whole urban culture. You know what I mean? It's spread. For real, the urban culture is the shortest or the youngest culture there is. And now that it's blossoming, it's getting older, it's getting more bigger than it was. Everybody wondering, you know, why is these people in the suburbs doing this? Why are they doing that? It just took a while for the urban culture to develop, to really catch on with everybody throwing shots at it, as far as back when like Snoop had his murder charges and Tupac and East Coast, West Coast beefs. They try to really like slander it and downplay it because they don't want it in the suburbs because then it's gonna bring out what's already there. You know what I mean? Everything that's already going on. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what it is for real, but
now when you went into the martial arts school, your mom already knew that your instructor had went to jail and
school in the yellow pages. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was like, it's crazy because here you go, Professor Bam on TV, everything, and it's like, well, how'd you find out about the yellow pages? You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know, it was probably, it was a blessing, you know what I mean? But as far as like, we ain't know nothing about like jail and drugs and everything else as far as coming from Professor Barnes' angle, but as soon as we found out, it didn't matter. Like, my mother, she was on drugs, you know what I mean? Everybody in my family was on drugs. I mean, that's a part of the struggle, a bigger struggle, you know what I mean? Not just a city struggle, you know what I mean? That shit go on everywhere. I think good followers are attracted to good leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a good leader and he got a mission and somebody else is a good follower and he on that same type of mission, it's gonna eventually come together anyway. You know what I mean? So I don't know. When I came into the school, I looked up to you automatically. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get attention. Let me go ahead and kick real sharp. Let me get this attention real quick. You know what I mean? And then it became a struggle. You know, then you form friendships, such as like me, Mr. Jason, Mr. Marco, and then eventually later on in the picture, Professor Bam. I don't even know how it happened, you know, but then it turned into like a father figure. You know what I mean? I couldn't do nothing to go against my father. You know what I mean? And then, especially now, after I've gone through my certain things that I see, if I would have never left the martial arts, I probably would have never went through it. But even though now I'm glad I did, because I think it made me all the more wise.
So what do you think a martial artist, instructor, or leader can do to help hear your cry or prevent kids from going down that path? I mean, what can they do, and how can martial arts and hip-hop play a role in that? Or how did it all play a role in you? Because, I mean, you was like mixing and scratch. I mean, we was deep into this whole thing, man.
Everything. I don't know. I mean, everybody got their own struggle. Everybody has a life-changing struggle. You know what I mean? Everybody, I don't care what it is. For most women, it might be just giving birth. You know what I mean? But it's something that changes your whole life. I think mine was just more drastic because I was more of a knucklehead for a little while. Like I said, I kind of steered away from the martial arts for a little while, and then everything went wrong after that. You know what I mean? The principles went away, the discipline went away. You know what I mean? And even more, that father figure went away for a while. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm attracted back to it now, because I done went through the struggle. I done know you went through the struggle. You know what I mean? I don't know, it's a big scheme of things. It's like everything come together. And that's what the martial arts is. Just like, you know, everything come together. You know what I mean? Shaolin Wushu, everything come together. You know, you just bring everything together, blend everything together. Jeet Kune Do, you know what I mean? Blend it all together. It's just, I don't know. Like they say, the circle, it's just everything. I don't know if you feel what I'm saying.
Right, I'm feeling, but
you know what I mean?
And I'm saying, I mean, do you think what we did was different? I mean, tell us like a class with the rap music and the, you know, and
street. It was more street. It definitely was. It's easy to relate to. You had fun, especially like everybody that was like my age in my class, me, Jason, Mr. Marco, everybody. It was like, and then there was a few others that it was like, okay, we can relate to this. You know what I mean? It had our minds open subconsciously. It's like, hey, listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Do this, don't do that. Subconsciously, we're paying more attention than we realize. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even know how it really is. I just know it now. Look, I'm gonna tell you this real fast before I even say. Well, let me say what it is first. I know me, Mr. Marco, Mr. Jason, Miss Kimber, and Professor Brad went out Harlem for martial arts. What was it? Masters of the Martial Arts. And basically a big show. I think he got his like 5th degree black belt that day.
Yeah.
And Foxy Brown was there, Sinbad was there, KRS-One, Ernie Reyes Sr., Jr., Noriega was there. We first came out with that NRE. Yeah, that was crazy. That was, oh man. And then we even actually went on stage and performed. I mean, it was crazy. You got everybody, stars, you know what I mean, watching you. You know what I mean? Stars in the audience watching you on stage. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't know. Martial arts is really more like it's almost like meditation for real. Even when you're not meditating, when you're performing, you know what I mean? Because you're not really there. You're somewhere else. Like performing on the stage, it's a high. Anybody that ever got high, I don't care what it was. You know what I mean? If you go up and you perform something and you do something great with people watching you, that's a high right there. I don't care. It's crazy. You feel? But then like I was gonna say earlier, things can flip like that, you know what I mean? Because here I am one day, you know what I mean, in Harlem performing for these people, doing these things, and then I never would have thought a couple years down the line I'd be serving a bit, and you know what I mean, in one of the most dangerous correctional facilities, most corrupt correctional facilities that they actually had to tear down just now because it was so wild. COs getting killed, not even just inmates, ain't nobody safe over there, you know what I mean?